The Black Death, because nothing says good times like a pandemic that wipes out half of Europe and leaves the survivors knee-deep in corpses and existential dread. Imagine waking up one fine 14th century morning, stretching and thinking, "Today feels like a great day to avoid dying horribly." Spoiler alert, most people failed. The Black Death, that charming little gift from the bowels of history, didn't just kill millions. It reshaped society, religion, economics, and even fashion, though, let's be honest, plague doctor masks were a choice. So, grab your herbal remedies and a healthy dose of skepticism, because we're diving into how a tiny flea and its bacterial buddy turned the world upside down. First off, let's talk about the sheer efficiency of this plague. It didn't just knock on the door, it kicked it down, set the house on fire, and then asked if you had a moment to talk about your sins. Starting in the 1340s, the bubonic plague, courtesy of Yersinia pestis, the overachieving bacteria of doom, swept through Europe, Asia, and the Middle East like a medieval influencer promoting misery. Symptoms included swollen lymph nodes, buboes because tumors wasn't gross enough, fever, vomiting, and of course death. And not the peaceful, died in their sleep kind of death. No, this was the writhing in agony while your neighbors burned your house down to stop the spread kind. Fun times. Now let's give credit where credit's due. The Black Death was an equal opportunity destroyer. Kings, peasants, monks, and merchants, no one was safe. The church, which had been running the show for centuries, suddenly found itself looking pretty useless. Prayers? Useless. Holy water? Useless. Flagellants whipping themselves in the streets? Surprisingly, also useless. People started questioning the whole God's will thing when their priests were dropping like flies. This crisis of faith paved the way for the Renaissance and the Reformation, because nothing says spiritual awakening like watching your entire village die in a week. Economically, the plague was a real game changer. With so many workers dead, the survivors suddenly found themselves in high demand. Peasants who had previously been treated like dirt, literally, now had bargaining power. "Oh, you need me to plow your fields? Sure, but I'll need a raise, better working conditions, and maybe a nice hat." This shift led to the decline of feudalism and the rise of a more modern labor system. Who knew mass death could be so progressive? And let's not forget the cultural impact. The Black Death gave us some of the most cheerful art and literature of the Middle Ages. Danse Macabre, anyone? It's like the medieval version of a TikTok trend, except instead of dancing, it's skeletons reminding you that death is inevitable. Morbid? Absolutely. But hey, when you've survived a pandemic, you earn the right to be a little edgy. In the end, the Black Death didn't just change the world, it scarred it. It forced humanity to confront its own fragility, reshaped societies, and left a legacy of death and rebirth. So, the next time you complain about modern life, just remember, at least you're not dodging plague rats and wondering if your neighbor's sneeze is a death sentence. Progress, people. Progress.